Hey team, okay, so this is part 4 of our Sugar Cravings series, and today we are talking about how to use fruit or naturally sweet foods to kind of mitigate these sugar cravings. So recalibrating your taste buds is so incredibly important.
Alert from software update.
Why does it always do that when I'm recording these? So if you only classify sweet foods as things like Coca-Cola, cake, brownies, cookies, etc., and consume these things on a frequent basis, those naturally sweet foods like fruit aren't going to taste so sweet because you're registering sweet as super sugary, like soda sweet, versus like strawberries are going to be like down here. So the analogy that I really like to use with clients is you can think of these super sweetened foods as having the volume turned up really high. So basically, if your taste was sound, those foods are equivalent to being at like a rock concert. It's really, really loud. And then you have a bite of a strawberry or a bite of an apple, and it's really quiet. It's whispering, basically, right? So it doesn't really register at the same level. So, but that can change. Your taste buds renew every 14 days, and you can kind of recalibrate that relationship of what your brain registers as sweet compared to what you register sweet as right now. So hence the phrase, it tastes like cardboard. When people typically start eating healthier, they're like, oh, that meal was great, it tastes like cardboard. Your taste buds will change. You will get better at this. It's not your fault. It's not that you're, sentencing yourself to a life of cardboard eating or anything like that. The taste of food will change. Your body will start to crave that food that makes you feel really good. It will get better, promise. And you will also begin to strengthen the connection between feeling good and the food that you eat. Your body will start to crave that stuff because it's going to get more nutrition, and you're going to mentally realize that like, oh, I felt really good after that meal versus I just had McDonald's or I just had like 5 donuts and I feel like crap. And unfortunately, it takes quite a few relapses or whatever you want to call them to remember those. It takes a little bit. It's annoying that you know that you're not going to feel good after eating that, but sometimes it just takes a couple times to be like, God, I really don't want to feel like crap anymore. I should stop doing that. And eventually those decisions will get slower. It'll get easier. Those moments will get slower in your head. So you're like, okay, this is an opportunity to make a different choice. Let's choose to feel really good. Because it's not about trying to be overly restrictive. I don't think that ever really works. It's about taking control and taking power over your own future and choosing to feel really good. So start working on that as far as like the mindset things, but we'll definitely talk about some physical strategies or things that you can do to make that better. So keep working on it. But with that said, how do we use sweet foods or fruit to combat sugar craving? So number one, we just said it, reducing the loud foods. So those foods that, so you can begin to taste naturally sweet foods and they'll start to register a little bit more. And then number two, using fruit or naturally sweet foods for cravings, but pairing them with like a protein or fat so we balance our blood sugar like we just talked about. And hopefully I'll keep this video pretty short and sweet, get it? And I will give you guys a downloadable for this one. So this is Curbing Sugar Cravings PDF. I usually send this out to clients, but I wanted to share it with you guys. So it'll go into more information, but better than that, it's going to have a lot of other healthier alternatives to satisfy your sweet tooth. So incorporating some fruit in there, this one has heavy whipping cream and berries and chocolate chips, things like that. Some other really awesome recipes in there. So those are some of my favorites and things I recommend to clients to help satisfy that sweet tooth, but without, sending our blood sugar on a roller coaster or anything like that. The last thing that I wanted to touch on is dried fruit. I meant to mention this in the last video, but that particular type of food can be easy to overconsume because you think about it, if you get a bag of dried apples, it is so easy to just like pound through a bag of those, right? When in reality, you just ate 5 apples pretty easily without thinking about it. Versus if you were to line up 5 apples in front of me, that would be pretty hard to do. I would really struggle to eat 5 full-size apples. So just keep that in context. Dried fruit can be a great alternative and a really good sweet treat, but especially things like dried mango. And I only mention this because people will start to use these or include these in their healthy habits. Not necessarily that's bad, but when they're trying to can't talk anymore, sorry. When they're trying to lose weight, and that can be a problem because again, I could probably eat like 3 mangoes worth of mangoes when they're in the dried form. So just be aware of that. Measure out your portions when you're using dried fruit and things like that. But that's just a little tip there. But make sure you check out this downloadable because it's incredibly helpful, tons of information, and hopefully this was helpful today, and I'll see you in the next one.